Hello again, it's Melissa here, and today I have the latest reveal for March over at Let's Get Sketchy to show you. So I showed you the sketch there, and now I'm just showing you some of the products that I've pulled from my stash. My son had noticed that I've been making a lot of girly layouts about his two sisters, and so he asked me if I could make one about him. So I think I've shared before that I love it when he does this, and of course I want to make more for him, because he is 2 years older than my middle daughter, and her scrapbook is probably more fuller, well, her two scrapbooks are more fuller than his, so always good when he wants a page made. So yes, there's a bit of shaking going on, but it's actually caused by my baby, who was playing in my room, while I was filming this, and so it'll stop soon because my husband takes her away. So these papers here are just some papers that a friend of mine gave me. I think they're from an old Studio Calico kit, and she didn't want them, so we have a monthly crop and we just take things we don't want or are not going to use, and it's free for all really. And so she had some things this time, and they really are my style, so I grabbed them. So when I first started to make this layout, I really wanted to base it, well, product-wise, I wanted to use Crepe Paper's Boys Rule, because I got the 6x6 paper bed, the ephemera pack and the sticker sheet, but I've made one layout, so I really need to start using up products that I have. But because the sketch called for larger pieces of paper than a 6x6, I needed to pull some other papers in, so I found that the tones of these papers worked really well with that collection, and the craft background also works well with the papers and the colours, and also with the photo because it is taken outside. So at this point I know that I want to have those photo corners. I guess they're photo corners. They're more like page corners. So I've put them in place, and now I'm just playing around with the papers that will build up the background. And like I've said before, these sketches are a guide, so when I first looked at the sketch I did think about pulling everything in closer, because it's not quite, I guess I looked at it and thought it's not really my style, so how can I make it work for my style? But as I went along with this, I realised I did want to keep it quite true to the sketch, so I have kept those papers wider, if that makes sense. So for this one I'm distressing my edges, and with those corners I'm just distressing the inside corner. I don't really see any point in doing the outer edges. And I've just adhered them lightly because I'm going to stitch along that inside line. So this is a photo of Sam that I took last year, and I've made a couple of layouts now about this day, and it's when my husband was setting up for a gig. He's in a band, and it was a wedding, and it's at a local resort that's very well known, and they've got this kids playground, and while he was setting up I took my 3 kids to the playground, and I took my DSLR and took some photos. So this is also a rare photo of Sam smiling properly, and so got to scrap that and get it in the album. So here I'm just distressing the edges, and I rip, you see it there, I ripped that paper, but it adds to the character and the look of it really, so I'm not bothered by it. I always give the papers a bit of a scrunch before I put them down, just like that, and so now I'm just working on the exact positioning. And I find that if I know where I want my photo to go, I get it down pretty quickly. So I'm not using too much adhesive because I'm planning to tuck some goodies amongst my layers. Sometimes with a layered sketch like this one I would add extra, but just because it shows 3 pieces of paper doesn't mean you have to stick with that. You can do whatever you want really, as long as if you're playing along we really need to see that you've followed the sketch. So you can't just do any old layout and chuck it in and say that you're inspired by the sketch. You do have to be inspired by it. So this collection here is so old that I can't even remember the name of it, but it is a Crepe Paper Boys collection. Just showing you there how I have to fold my paper, roll my paper to get it through my sewing machine. And I've sped this part of the video up because there's a lot of fussing and just deciding where things go. I've sewn directly on the photo here, which is brave, but I like the texture it adds, and I'm leaving my threads long. So what you missed was I added a few more random areas of stitching. No reason really, just texture. And here I'm going through the ephemera pack. And what I actually realise when I go through this pack and when I go through the sticker sheet is there is a lot of phrases and even icons that are really more appropriate to a younger boy. So that's inspiring me to print off some older photos of Sam and get them scrapped and use up this collection. Like one of them, actually the other crate collection had a sticker that said Mama's Boy. Now there's no way that he's going to want Mama's Boy on a layout about him being 7, so that's why I need to go back and just do some older photos. Those little gems actually came in the ephemera pack, and at this point I thought I was going to use them, but they don't really work with this layout at all. I think it's because I'm not using papers from that collection, I'm just using embellishments. So I played around with them but couldn't make it work. Love that little prize ribbon, and I've popped it up on Stampin' Up! Dimensionals and popping up the tails as well. I actually asked Sam what I should call the layout and can't quite remember what he said, but it was something boy, so I was happy to find that boy letters were on those flags. And I've put that, the O, I've put that on a Stampin' Up! Pop dot as well, just to add some dimension. Shaking is happening again because Brielle has come back into the room, so that's the only reason. And it's stopped now because Sean's taken her away. Those are some really old basic grey frames. They're not acetate, they're plastic. They're from a Studio Calico kit, probably about 3 years old. Had about 5 left, so it always feels so good to get older product used up. And just using my stapler there. Twofold really, dimension and to secure them. That sticker sheet there goes with the older crate collection that I can't remember the name of. And that sticker I've pulled there says Handsome. And at this point I thought of calling the layout Handsome Boy. I love the chalkboard look in the Boys Rule collection. So the corner triangles are not embellished, but I wanted to add embellishment to them. And here I'm just tucking stickers amongst my layers. And at the end, when you see the final layout, you'll see extra stickers that I added because I really wanted to use up that older collection, the sticker sheet, because I had about 4 or 5 stickers to go. So if the words weren't appropriate, like the Mama's Boy, I just cut it in half and just tucked it so you couldn't even read the words on it. And it's good, it's better than throwing something out. I guess I could have kept it, but it's one sticker on its own, lonely on a sheet. So here I'm showing you all of my journaling, and the reason I'm showing you is because this is one of those layouts where it actually doesn't mention the location or the day or anything. I've just written about my son and how we're proud of him and how we want him to always be, and just a note to him really. He'll probably read it when he's older and it'll mean something more. And I get inspired by Vilna Furstenberg, who writes to her daughters like this. And often she'll even write a prayer to them. So with those little circular blue stickers, I'm just putting the @ symbol and 7 because he was 7 when I took the photo. And now I've found that little arrow and it says favourite on it. And so that's where I decided to call the layout Favourite Boy, and I can get away with that because I've only got one son. Adding a few more stickers, and that little computer game sticker man thing he absolutely loved. Here's some close-ups, and thanks so much for watching.